Come check the flow.
Stop pacing about, Wallace! You're making the rest of the men nervous!
I found these in the hall, Major
Dog
Gromit.
tags! I've been recommissioned! Bound to happen, of course. Can't leave good military material sitting on the shelf. My place is in the trenches. You've got to get your mind off the carnage up there. Would you like to hear one of my old war stories? I'd help pass the time.
Well, I hate to,
Of course you would. I brought visual aids. I can still see it perfectly.
Who's that fellow?
That's me as a young recruit, off to basic training. How I cried when they cut off my golden curls. But I cheered up as soon as they issued me with a beautiful set of dog tags. Dashed useful dog tags if you happen to forget your rank or name. You've got it right there. Never go into battle without your dog tags, Wallace. Anyway, I was peeling.
What a face!
That's me kitted out for heavy combat. That helmet took many a dent before the war was through. Without it, I could have become seriously loopy. Take my advice, Wallace. Never go into battle without a regulation helmet like the one in this picture. It was Fifi who found me on the...
Now, there's a sight.
That's me posing with Mother next to my 40mm bolters. Look at the size of that monster. Big Betty, we called her. The gun, not my mother.
Sounds like you were quite a soldier, Major Crumb.
Well, Wallace, why the past tense?
Oh dear.
Once a soldier, always a soldier. Something you civilians will never grasp. And I'd be happy to prove it by charging into the fray. That is, if I had my dog tags, which I have. But I'd need a regulation helmet, a sturdy, brass one, like I had in the war. And I'd have to find someone to take charge of this shelter and distribute the protein bars.
I wonder if I might trouble you for...
One of my protein bars? Thought I gave you one already, but never mind.
Terribly kind of you. Gromit could do the job.
Private Gromit? Can I entrust my precious cache of protein bars to a Pongo? Perhaps so. He's proven himself a trusty foot soldier. Yes. If I am called away to the front, I'd feel comfortable leaving Private Gromit in charge. Yes, that's all very well, I suppose. But I'd need a good sturdy helmet with a cute little brim like the one I had in the war. Wait! Heading back into the thick of it, are you? There's pluck for you. Did you remember to eat your gluten bar? You'll thank me if you're captured. Heaven knows what they feed their prisoners. Now go! And return with your shield all on it.
Lovely.
Have you brought it, Mr. Wallace?
You're standing in a puddle, Mr. Paneer.
My shoes aren't waterproof.
You're still in a puddle?
No point moving. The damage has been done.
Oh, how bad was the damage?
Just 2 walls, the dairy display, and my fresh pineapple pyramid. Don't forget, Mr. Wallace, 50 gallons by sunset.
Ah. Wonder if the landlord would be interested in subscribing to my honey service. No sense in looking for new orders when I haven't fulfilled the first.
Hey up, Wallace, love. How's business?
I hate to trouble you for another pot of pansies, Mrs. Gabberly.
Oh, no trouble at all. Take it. A gift from one flower lover to another. So, Wallace, in the honey business now, I hear.
Oh, you've heard the buzz, have you?
Oh, indeed I have. It's all over town.
It'll never get off the ground. Stupid idea, if you ask me.
And nobody did.
Couldn't get honey out of a honey jar, that one.
Excuse my husband. He's a right misery gut sometimes. Drop by any time.
Expects the Sniffer 3000 to look him in the face. He doesn't understand. The Sniffer is a cheese detector. It only looks at cheese.
Well, well, look who's back. Return to the scene of the crime, have we?
Lovely. Must be awfully hot under that helmet, I reckon. A sunny day like today.
It's a trifle sweltering, yes. But danger and discomfort are all in the line of duty for an officer of the law, though most folk don't appreciate it.
Worth thinking about. Constable Dibbins, please will you give the Sniffer 3000 one more?
You're very insistent, Wallace.
Only how?
I'll be the judge of that. You there, prisoner. Kindly look at me when I'm talking to you. That's more like it. Now you've had time to think, what can you tell me about what happened yesterday? Feel bad about what you did, do you? He's weeping. Maybe this contraption's got feelings after all. Now, I want a truthful answer. If I release you from custody, will you do it again? I was right about this heap of scrap. It's wired for wickedness.
Why
do I listen to you, Wallace?
How can I
That heap of
relax
scrap
while my
hasn't
Sniffer
changed its ways,
3000 languishes
and never
behind
will.
bars? Now that's a fine-looking postbox. It would make a good chassis for my honey-powered vacuumatic, but that's tomorrow's project. One dose of strontium into the mix. It's got squirrel tracks in it. That pesky rodent must have been at me toast again. He certainly is crackers for toast. It's a comfort to know we're well stocked with biscuits. That'll put me right to sleep. This call box has been a boommaster's voice. It certainly doesn't seem like a war zone. Still, Major Crum won't leave the cellar till he gets a regulation helmet. Oh no! How will I get the supplies out if I can't get the door open? Oh, never mind that. That's the least of my worries right now. Closed up shop for the day, have you? The auto flip frying pan. That was my birthday present for Gromit last year. Closed up shop for the day, have you? Can't think why they stopped putting cold doors on houses. You wouldn't happen to have such a thing as a helmet lying about, would you?
Fresh out, I'm afraid.
No flowers in here. You wouldn't happen to have such a thing as a helmet lying about, would you?
Fresh out, I'm afraid.
Ah, Mr. Wallace, but you will deliver the honey in time for my festival of crumpets, won't you? I'd hate to have to serve jam. Everyone does jam.
Don't worry, Mr. Paneer. Your order is in safe hands.
My order is on its way.
Yes.
Don't forget, Mr. Wallace, 50 gallons by sunset.
Mr. Gabberley.
Gone away! Went to Timbuktu! Won't be back until spring!
Oh, how can I relax while me sniffer 3,000? That doesn't make sense.
Hey up, Wallace, love. How's business?
Uh-oh.
Hey, it's not closing time yet.
Oh, how can I relax? Yes, indeed.
Whew, such a rush.
I hope they're not being too rough.
And to what do I owe the pleasure of this return visit?
Constable Dibbit,
You're very...
only... Oh,
I'll be the time we had a little... That's what I like to see. Do you regret what you did? Ah, yes, they always crack in the end. Now, I want a truthful answer. If I release you from custody, will you do it again? Well, I'll be damned. The prisoner has been interviewed,
yes?
and having exhibited signs of repentance, I am prepared to release him into your protective custody, provided, Wallace, you give me an assurance that you'll keep your blinking eye on him. Or it. Or whatever he answers to.
Oh, I'll keep an eye on him, Constable Dibbins. You have my word on that. No good.
Pot of purple pansies, and mine haven't bloomed yet.
You wouldn't happen to have such a thing as a helmet lying about, would you?
Fresh out, I'm afraid. Not making eyes at my flowers again, I hope.
Oh no, Miss Flit, no need. My own garden will soon be a veritable floral fantasia.
We shall see.
What's the situation above? Fire and desolation as far as the eye can see? By Gad, I wish I could be up there.
Bon appetit. Oh! Not exactly a flood, is it? My workers are very devoted to their queen.
Any news from above? Gad, how I wish I were back in the fight! The unfairness of it all, Wallace. A born fighter like me, stuck in this shelter while battles are raging overhead.
You can go if you like, Major. Private Gromit can oversee this shelter and dispense the rations.
Yes, that's all very well, I suppose, but I'd need a good sturdy helmet with a cute little brim like the one I had in war.
Goodbye, Major.
Stiff upper lip!
My workers are very devoted to their queen. I thought you might find this useful, Major Crumb.
A helmet! By George, Wallace, there's nothing like a good helmet. Makes a fellow want to put himself in the path of projectiles, if you know what I mean. Good heavens! I shouldn't be skulking around in a cellar like a frightened rat. I'm a soldier, by thunder! Private Gromit, I hereby appoint you officer commanding this air raid shelter. Here, you pass out the rations. I've got a war to win. Charge!
Now to get my hands on a protein bar. Gromit! Request dispensation of protein bars, soldier. One unit of energized fluid for a creamy finish. One generous chunk of protein to give it texture. Now to mix up my very own quick grow muscle formula. That ought to do it. No, the mixomatic's all mixed up. Stop! Stop! Help! Gromit! Oh, thanks, lad.
Checking to see if anything's sprouted yet, Mr. Wallace.
Well, as a matter of fact, Miss Flit,
Really? I don't see what you're hoping to... Oh! I don't believe
it
it!
works! It works! The homemade quick grow miracle muscle formula works! We're in business, lad. You see, Gromit, look where a bit of enterprise can get you. If I hadn't found that flyer you chucked in the bin, I'd never have been able to concoct my miracle grow formula. And then where would we be? You really must be careful what you chuck out, you know? Lincoln, Nora!
Oh, my word! I think I'm going to faint.
This ought to be plenty of fuel for the old pollinator.
That's champion, that is. 50 gallons of honey and just in time for my annual Tea and Crumpet Festival. Pleasure doing business with you, Wallace.
Always aim to please our bees. That's the last of our bills, Gromit, and we've got just about enough left over for that little holiday we've been planning. This year, I fancy Blackpool. Oh, yes, lad. I think our money troubles are over at last.
Air raid! Air raid! Battle
Oh, dear.
stations everywhere!
Not this again.
Excellent vantage point. Prepare for a crash landing, you devils! Sorry, Wallace, but I'm going to have to commandeer your dining room.
Now, just a minute, Major Crumb.
No time to argue, old man. The whole town's under bombardment. But here they come!
There's an egg, Gromit. Giant bees.
Heaven help the good citizens of West Wallaby Street! Civilians, out!
But
That's an order, Wallace. Private Gromit, kindly escort this civilian from the battle zone. Keep the faith, soldier. West Wallaby Street needs you. That's right, soldier. Help steady my aim. Missed him. Got him. Most another bounder. Cheeky devils won't. We'll have to trap 'em, I fear. Got the blatter. Nothing quickens the old pulse like getting off. Nothing quickens the old pulse like getting off a blue. Wonder what else we can shoot at. Auf Wiedersehen to you, sir. Got the blatter. Back in the air. Blast it. Blast. Blast. Get him. Double blast. Got the blatter. Oh, that got away! Wiedersehen to you, sir! Blast! Blast! Back in the air! Blast it! Blimey! Confound it! Blast and double blast! Missed him! Carry on, soldier!
good heavens, Gromit, you don't suppose those monsters have anything to do with our honey-making operation, do you? Bumbling heck! My quick grow formula, it didn't just affect the flowers. Just hope it's a wrong number and not more bad news. Yes, Mr. Pannier. Well, of course you're upset. Being dive-bombed by giant bees isn't good for any business. We're doing all we can to get the situation under control. Normal honey service will be resumed as soon as possible. With normal-sized bees. That's a promise. There's a giant fly in the soup, lad. And it's shaped like a bee. They're taking over the town. Time to read the riot act. I am their employer after all.